Here we are, Charles. We are live
Oh,
again.
we're here. It is us.
What is
We're
up,
just
me
hanging out.
amigos?
You know, just hanging out.
Just
Waiting to
hanging
talk
out.
about 1985.
Oh, I'm ready to do it, man. Let's do this.
1985, the year of New Coke, Live Aid, and a bunch of horror movies. A whole crap ton of
God.
movies came out that year.
I forgot about New Coke.
New Coke, man. Whew. It'll change your life.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Who we got on?
Travis.
Travis!
What is up,
I like Travis.
I like Travis, too. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Speaking
Travis.
of New Coke, I had tried to save some classic Coke before they changed the New Coke. And I had a 6-pack, and I remember each can busted like every month after several years. So it was just like, okay, well, I guess that was not a good idea.
It wanted to die. It was like, please, Lloyd, let
me
out.
go. Let me go. Let go of me, Lord Crier. So welcome to the show, everybody. We've got several viewers right now. Hi, Michelle. How are you today? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, guys? Todd, Anna, David, Michelle, Skadoo.
David is here. Anna's here. Todd Seeley. What's up, y'all? Y'all ready to talk about 1985 horror movies? I hope y'all found us okay today.
I think we're okay today.
I've been working on trying to get this right.
We've been trying. I think it worked, but let's do it.
I gotta turn my phone off. It keeps.
I know you're getting blown up like a damn $2 whore on Christmas.
I don't know what's going on.
You're like, hey Lloyd, what are you doing?
Hey, what's up, Lloyd? I guess
Are you Lloyd Crier? I miss Lloyd Crier. I know Lloyd Crier.
Somebody out there thinks I'm a big deal. Well, let's go ahead and kick this off. What do you think? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. What came out first? 1985. What are we talking about first?
Well, we're going to start with the Nail Gun Massacre.
Holy crap, Lloyd.
Terry Lofton. This is one that is very near and dear to my heart. I met Terry Lofton several years ago before I ever started the convention thing. I was selling movies on a website. I had a website where I sold movies and stuff. And I had a box of the original Magnum VHS tapes that I bought from a dealer. And I had them on my website and I was selling those, and my phone rings one day and I pick it up and the guy goes, yeah, who's this? And I said, oh, this is Lloyd Crier. And he goes, this is Terry Lofton. You're selling my movie on your website. And I said, oh, well, nice to meet you. And he goes, are those bootlegs? And I was like, no, I think they're just, the Magnum release that, somebody bought from somewhere, but I bought a box of them and I've been selling them. I said, I'm actually out of them. And he goes, oh, really? He goes, have you ever seen the movie? And we just got to be friends. We started talking, and that's how we became friends. And Terry came over to my house like a week later. I had never seen Nail Gun Massacre. And he brought this movie over with him on videotape, and we sat there and we watched Nail Gun Massacre together, and became really good friends over the next few years. And Terry always had he was a diabetic, and he always had health problems. And he had been admitted to the hospital, and when he got out of the hospital, he called me and he said, hey, I don't think I have much longer to go. Do you want to take over Nail Gun Massacre? So I was like, wow, that would be really cool. Thank you. That would be an honor. And so that's kind of the story behind why I have Nail Gun Massacre now. It's crazy.
That's cool, though. That's cool. It's weird stuff that happens, right?
It's wild, but I knew Terry for several years before he passed away, and I was involved with helping him when he put out his own DVD of it. I kind of helped him and guided him a little bit, but he put that movie out, and then when he passed away, he gave it to me, and I've got all he had left was the 16 millimeter print of that movie, and but it made for a really good Blu-ray release, and it's out there, man. I mean, it's not a great movie. Terry himself said he realized that, as he was shooting it, that this wasn't going to be a great movie, so he tried to play up the humor in it.
Yeah.
And he did. I mean, one of the funniest scenes, in my opinion, there's several funny scenes in that movie, but when they're in the store, the lady at the counter is Terry's mother or grandmother, and she's reading from the script, and you can see her every now and then look down and turn the page. So it's just hilarious, man. Do you have any favorite scenes from that movie? Or
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing you're saying. I mean, you watch it and you know everybody, and it's not actors. It's kind of like you can watch it and tell that. But those are fun movies. I mean, there's a fine line. We love horror. Horror is not always Academy Award winning movies. You have to respect all the movies that are made, because I don't care if you make a horrible movie, you still made a movie, and it's still a pain in the ass to make.
Yeah.
And it was filmed right outside of Dallas, so anything local.
It was filmed in Seagoville, Texas, and
30 minutes, right?
Yeah, and Joe Bob Briggs calls it the best movie ever made in Seagoville, Texas.
Well, there's that. I mean,
yeah, it's hilarious, but the movie had a lot of heart. You can tell when you watch it. It has a lot of heart. It's not a great flick, but it's something that's cool to sit back with some friends and have a few beers and just enjoy yourself.
If you want a bootleg copy, go to Bootleg Crier. Bootleg Crier Industries. Bootleg Crier Industries.
Exactly. So 1985.
I guess we can jump on. So before I move on, I just want to call out Travis Brown, because he mentioned Return to Oz, which is a great movie. It's not a horror movie, but it's not on our list. But it's still a creepy as hell movie, and I'm glad Travis mentioned that, because I love that movie, and it's just a goofy, fun, weird sequel to Wizard of Oz. So thank you, Travis.
Yep.
Next up, oh Lord. So March 2nd, 85, we had Ghoulies. The infamous Ghoulies, directed by Luca Berkovici.
Berkovici.
Yeah, whatever. Berkovici. It sounds like a jar of pickles. Berkovici pickles. Get them now while they're warm and cold at the same time. Well, Berkovici didn't really direct anything after this, but he did write Ghoulies 1 through 4, including Ghoulies Go to College, which for some damn reason was released down the line. I don't know.
I think the thing that made Ghoulies as popular as it was simply the poster of a ghoulie popping out of a toilet.
Yeah.
That made everybody want to see that movie for some reason.
The score in this is a lot of fun. It was done by Richard Bann, but the score was also done by Shirley Walker. And Shirley Walker was really an icon, a true icon for like women in film. So like, if you guys don't know Shirley Walker, she was one of the very few women actually composing film at this time. There was hardly any. And she was actually one of the first women to get a solo composing credit. And that was 92's Memoirs of an Invisible Man, which one of the few Carpenter movies he didn't direct. But she's really awesome, and her work is really cool, and most people have kind of forgot about her. She was also Danny Elfman's composer for like Batman. She co-wrote the music for True Lies, Escape from LA. So it's cool to listen to her for that, because I know it was a big deal. She died in 2006 from a stroke, and they didn't acknowledge her at the Academy Awards, and everybody was pissed. So I always bring her up when I see one of her movies, because she really was like groundbreaking for women in film.
I love those British quads, man.
Oh, British quads are where they're at. They'll get you in the end. Whoa, Ghoulies. No,
look who we got.
No.
It is El Diablo is back.
Go away, El Diablo. Go away.
Those eyes are so creepy. I don't know.
Don't you laugh at me. That's it.
The power of Christ compels you.
Good job, Charles. I showed the Ghoulies. I didn't show Nail Gun. Let's go back.
Nail Gun.
That is
Japanese VHS.
Yes, it is. That's a cool, and it's 14,800 yen.
Heck yeah. And Lloyd knows because he has that damn movie on VHS, the Japanese copy. Of course he does.
Actually, do you have that Japanese VHS?
Of course he does. Jesus.
Every video copy I've ever been able to find. I told you before we went live, though, it was called Massacre in Arizona.
Massacre
in
Arizona.
Germany. Blutgereit in Arizona, or however you say it in Blutgereit.
I feel like it should have been dubbed by Udo Kier. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, that would have been great.
Oh no, he got the nail gun.
Oh no, you run away with the nail gun, Lord.
Run away. Wunderbar, go. I miss Udo. We really need to get Udo on the show. He really needs to come on the show.
Oh my God, we do. That's the next guest we're gonna go for.
We're gonna go for Udo. He doesn't have to talk. He could just sit here and stare at us for an hour while we look at him like, "What's up?"
Yeah, and drink vodka.
And drink vodka. All right, Ghoulies. Okay, we can move on from Ghoulies. I don't have much to say about Ghoulies. I'm not just.
Well, it's a Gremlins ripoff, or
it's a Gremlins ripoff.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, and you take it for what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So next up,
next?
March 22nd, 1985, Friday the 13th, 5, A New Beginning.
Oh. Because it wasn't the final chapter. It was a new beginning.
It was a new beginning. I saw this in the theater, and I was so disappointed when I saw this movie. I think it seems more like a Scooby-Doo episode than anything, because they unmasked the guy at the end, and it's not Jason. That's what pissed me off the most. It wasn't Jason the whole time.
That's what upset a lot of people, is it's not Jason. It had a hard follow-up from 4. 4 was so good, but I don't know.
Well, I will say the movie has grown on me over the years. It's not as bad as I remember it. It's kind of a fun movie to go back and watch now, but I guess I just took it seriously. There is something that you found, though, online that we have to show people.
Oh, it's Crispin Glover danced in 4, and there was an equally good to dance in 5. So let's play that dance.
They had to follow up that dance because, obviously that is what made part 4 so successful, was the dance.
I think it was. And I think this dance tops it. So you guys let me know what's better, this or Crispin Glover breaking a move. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a samba dance, or what was that?
That's Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. That's the version I saw. I don't know what you saw. Look, when movies are bad, I just go back and I redub them myself and add my own music in. And you know what? It makes them better. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, didn't the guy that I think I just read this, the guy that played the heavyset guy in the mental institution, wasn't he just arrested recently for some weird crime?
I don't know. Was he?
I think so.
Well, that's fun.
I just thought about this. I didn't think about it.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's something to look into for you guys. Go and check that out and see if you can find anything about that guy committing a weird crime.
New Beginning was directed by Danny Steinman, He also did Unseen and 84 Savage Streets, which are fun movies. He actually never directed again, which was kind of sad because right before this was released, he got like in a really bad bicycle accident apparently. And it took him like 4 or 5 years to recover. And by then his career was over and he just retired. That's really a sad end because despite this movie's flaws, when I watched this and Unseen and Savage Streets, that guy had some skills. And I think he could have kind of gave us some fun projects down the road. This movie, I'm sure, was heavily controlled by the studio. And there was a lot of like rewrites, I think, because originally they wanted it to star Corey Feldman, but he was doing the Goonies. So there's no telling.
Yeah.
We got a super sticker from Rick.
Thank you, Rick. We appreciate that.
Rick in the house. We love you, Rick.
Appreciate that. We appreciate your support, guys.
Yeah, really appreciate your support, guys. We really love doing this with you guys. This is a lot of fun, just hanging out, talking about movies. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I can appreciate it as like a fun, just popcorn movie, but it's not really my favorite of the series. I think a lot of people agree. So,
yeah, especially when I first saw it, it was like, oh my God, what have they done?
Yeah.
But over the years, I've learned to accept it for what it is and enjoy it.
And Travis Brown said the whole plot started with sharing chocolate.
Yeah. That's right.
Don't mess with somebody's chocolate ever.
That's the guy that I'm thinking of that I heard something about, but that's alleged. So I don't know anything about that. I mean,
look it up for yourself. Bar? Do they steal his chocolate bar? That's all I want to know.
They definitely might have.
What came up next? What's next?
Let's see, Charlie. Ooh, this is a fun one, man. Go for it.
Oh yeah, April 12th, 1985. Cat's Eye anthology film. Follows a cat into various tales. What a great movie! It was screenplay was written by Stephen King. I know 2 of the stories were based on his books, his short story book, and the last one was an original one he had wrote from Night Shift. I think they were from, right? 78.
I believe you're right. I really love that movie though. It's great. It's got Candy. I don't remember her name. Candy something. She plays Drew Barrymore's mother. She was in
Candy Cane.
George Lucas 50s movie about cars and whatever.
Oh, Candy Clark.
Candy Clark. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Clark, American Graffiti.
The scene the one that always gets me is just because I have an aversion to heights is the guy on the ledge story. Mm-hmm. Drives me absolutely insane. I sit on the edge of my seat every time I see that scene.
Really?
Oh yeah.
This is one I grew up with. I was always watching this. It was always a lot of fun. It's a good one. You can watch with younger kids if you guys have younger kids at home because it's PG-13. It's a bit toned down, but it's not noticeable. It's still a lot of fun. Horror anthologies were really big in the 80s. This is one of the best ones. This is a great, great film. And I'm going to give away 2 copies of Cat's Eye today to people because Cat's Eye is awesome.
Very excited.
Yeah, the score was done by Alan Silvestri, same year he did Back to the Future. And it's funny if you watch this because you can tell he took some stuff either from this or from Back to the Future because they're kind of similar. There's some similar notes to them. So he's probably like, I got to do 2 movies at once. Screw it. I'm changing this note to that note. Boom, 2 movies. We're done.
I miss anthologies a lot. I just don't think they make enough of them, but I do know they're kind of difficult because you have a lot of people involved in an anthology. You have different directors and a lot of different people with their hands on it. So it can be difficult from that aspect.
Yeah, very, very true. Because, essentially it's like you're making like 3 or 4 different movies because you're having to set up different sets, different locations, different screenplays. And it's just, I can imagine it's a nightmare. Yeah.
Michelle says she can't handle heights either. And she learned the word bastard from that movie. So I guess you gave your parents hell when you were a kid and ran around saying bastard.
You bastard. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a great movie overall. I mean, Drew Barrymore is fantastic in it. And yeah, I've read that Stephen King wrote that with like Drew Barrymore in mind. So,
Oh, wow.
of course, James Woods is one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
I would love to meet him, you know.
Robert Hayes from Airplane is in this.
James Naughton's in this too. It's a fun movie. I mean, you know, a lot of people. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but you know, give it a check if you haven't. So I'm gonna give away some copies. Louis Teague directed, of course, known for a lot of other stuff like Cujo, which we already covered. He went on to do, I think, Jewel of the Nile is what we said last time. I think he did Jewel of the Nile. Mm-hmm. So, good movie.
Todd wants to know what we think was the last great anthology, Trick or Treat. Oh. Yeah, that's a great anthology. I can't fault that movie. Creep Show is way up there for me. Anything that Amicus did is way up there for me. But the last great anthology, I'm not sure. That's a good question for everybody.
Yeah,
you guys leave a comment. Yeah, leave a comment with what the last great anthology was.
Trick or Treat was a really good one, and you know, you don't have a whole lot really. I guess when it comes to horror, you know, you don't really have a whole lot when it comes to it.
Yeah. I haven't seen Double X or XX, however you say it. I haven't seen that one yet. I know a lot of, you know, females. I think that was mainly a female anthology. Y'all keep posting some of your ideas there, and we'll keep looking.
Yeah, keep throwing them out. I mean, if I haven't seen it, then I want to see it. That's just how I am.
Definitely. Next up, Charles, April 26th, 1985, Pierre de Moreau's Hellhole.
Oh, Hellhole. God. Oh, my God.
I was very surprised when somebody picked this up for Blu-ray and put it out.
This movie. Okay, what can I say about Hellhole, Lloyd? It's
kind of insane.
It's the script's incoherent at times, but if you want a fun, stupid, ridiculous 80s B movie, watch this, because it gives you all the camp that you can stand, but it also throws in it peppers in some spices for women in prison movies into this asylum. You got cat fights in the movie, cat fights in communal showers, which I think everybody wants in a movie.
Yeah.
You've got ladies in drugged out hysteria. And then you've got ridiculous, unnecessary nudity like everywhere. Like this insane asylum has a freaking mud bath. Why does this insane asylum have a mud bath that naked ladies just sit in like, we'd be crazy. We're going to get all exfoliated. I'm like, what the hell does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with anything?
Yeah. Well, somebody was doing a lot of blow and said, we need more naked people in this movie.
We need naked cat fights in the shower. Get to it. I would have liked to have been on the set. I would have liked to have been on the set when they made this. I would have been like, I don't know what they're doing, but it's down.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool because you got horror great, you know, regulars like Mary Warnoff and Robert Zadar.
Yeah.
So it's a fun movie to check out.
That's all we have to say about that.
You sent me something for Hellhole. Let's see.
Oh, the poster. Got. The poster art's fantastic for it, though.
It really is.
It. Captives, stripped naked, forced to submit to the ultimate experiment. Pray they don't succeed.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, it's so great.
This poster really describes it, and I love that the guy is in medical scrubs and a mask. He's holding a needle, and he's got aviator sunglasses on.
Man, that is a legit doctor. I would trust him with anything.
Exactly. Hellhole.
Hellhole. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to tell you to find it, but don't yell at me if you hate it or it burns your eyes or you subjected somehow to children. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Okay. Next one. I love the next one.
Yes.
All right. June 14th, 85. We got The Stuff. All the Stuff by Larry Cohen. The Stuff is private investigator looking for a new consumer taste cheat product that's taking over the world. That's a great freaking movie. I have a freaking like stuff like grocery store ad hanging up in my kitchen. It's just the stuff's fantastic.
The craziest thing about that movie to me is basically the beginning where the stuff is discovered and it's just bubbling out of the ground. And what does the guy do? He just goes right over it.
This tastes good.
This is good. That's the first thing I'll do is I'll just taste some weird shit bubbling out of the ground.
He's in like an industrial yard and he's like, oh, what's this?
I gotta taste that. That stuff has to go in my mouth.
And then there's no backstory. It cuts and then like they're a conglomerate. It's like,
yeah.
What the hell?
All of a sudden they're packaging it up and selling it to the masses.
Let's play the trailer. Yeah, play the trailer.
All right.
Warning. We interrupt this presentation with the following urgent message regarding the stuff. If you see it in stores, call the police. If you have it in your home, don't touch it. Get out. The stuff is a product of nature, a deadly living organism. It is addictive and destructive. It can overcome your mind and take over your body. And nothing can stop it.
Are you prepared to say on the air that you've actually seen people devoured by the stuff?
Tonight, America is in grave danger.
It's gonna kill you! It's gonna kill you all!
The stuff. You have been warned.
You have been warned, Lloyd, about the stuff. This is a fantastic movie.
Morgan, he loves how the military goes in the end. Yeah. It's not really a military. It's like a rogue militia.
I mean, and there's a great Blu-ray out from Arrow. Arrow Video brought out a fantastic Blu-ray for this. I would definitely recommend it. The stuff is a perfect story of mindless American consumerism at its best. I mean,
yep.
We have a product that they know is uncontrollably addictive, but everybody's like, I'm buying that shit. You're not stopping me.
Yeah.
It's a horror comedy. I mean, it never doesn't let you know it's not a comedy. It's a funny movie too, but it's kind of like Body Snatchers and The Blob had a baby, you know?
I love Larry Cohen too. I really do.
Cohen is great. I mean, stuff. You got to get you some stuff, man. If you don't have the stuff, go and get that stuff. Get stuff right now.
Stuff. I can't imagine. This has got to be somebody. I can't imagine a lot of people not seeing this.
Yeah.
This was all over the place at one point.
It's on air. It's on Prime Video right now. If you guys want to check it out, maybe it'll be one of our Saturday movies at some point. We'll watch the stuff together. It's a great movie.
Well, good stuff.
The stuff is good stuff. That marshmallow stuff is good. Oh, yes, it tastes good. And remember, guys, if you see stuff bubbling up out of the ground, lick that shit because it probably tastes good. All right.
Yeah, just lick anything that you see on the ground. We didn't tell you to do that, but the movie told us.
The movie is.
So we recommend
it's gonna taste good, especially if you're in an industrial yard. Do it.
Do it. All right. So next up, June 21st, 1985, directed by Toby Hooper, Lifeforce.
Oh, you know,
people. Go ahead.
I'll say people either love or hate Lifeforce. It seems. Go ahead, though.
I don't know. I love Lifeforce. Lifeforce to me is basically space vampires naked. And I love it. It's got Steve Rails back, one of my all-time favorite actors. We had Steve at the show a few years ago, and he was a super cool dude. He played Charles Manson in one of the very best movies about Charlie Manson and the Manson family. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
And then we had Toby Hooper at the show, and I love Toby.
Toby's great, and it also sorry, I got cut up there, but yeah, Toby Hooper. This was a big budget movie. This movie cost $25 million in 1985. $25 million. This is a huge budget movie.
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of a large scale feel to it, very cinematic, and it was great. I mean, I would say it wasn't exactly what you would expect from Toby, but he did a great job on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a creative movie, and I think a lot of this from the great script, because the script was done by Dan O'Bannon. Well, Dan O'Bannon is, done so much crap. It also has this wonderfully over the top score from Henry Mancini. It's just, it's fantastic.
Why are there so many composers named Mancini?
I don't know. Maybe that's a family thing. And if you guys don't remember Dan O'Bannon, he basically is known as being the person who wrote Alien, the screenplay for Alien. Then he kind of went on and did a lot of other screenplays for horror movies. Dead and Buried was one. We'll actually see him later here again for the only movie he ever directed, which is down the line here.
I love this poster.
They unleashed a force more evil than the world had ever imagined. I like that one and the other one where it's like the naked lady riding the rocket.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a great movie though. I mean, really, it's a lot of fun. Patrick Stewart's in it, right? Patrick Stewart's in it as Dr. Armstrong. So
yeah, Steve Railsback, Peter Firth, Frank Finley, and Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Yep. This is streaming on HBO if you have HBO, and I believe Arrow Video brought this out a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So it's out there. I'd watch it if you haven't seen it. It's a great one.
Yeah, I think it was actually Scream Factory that put that out, but
was it Scream Factory?
Yeah, it's out there, but definitely recommended.
I concur.
Go to the next one, Charles. This is a favorite of mine.
Ooh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. All right. I know this one. July 3rd, 1985. We have Day of the Dead. What's Day of the Dead? Is that a movie about the Spanish holiday?
Yes. What is it? How do you say that in Spanish?
Dia de los Muertos?
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos. No, this is George Romero's third film in his zombie saga. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm probably going to catch hell for saying this, but I actually like Day of the Dead more than I like Dawn of the Dead. So there,
Day of the Dead, of course, it's another Romero masterpiece. I mean, you've got a masterfully intelligent film. He doesn't write schlock movies. It's about, the acting in this is so strong too. I mean, you could feel the fatigue from all these characters, and you just feel sad for everybody going on.
Yep. So much conflict, social commentary abounding in this film.
That's something cool. Here you go.
Okay.
Boom.
Oh yeah. Now for all you guys that don't know, that's a screen used.
Yeah, the production screen used originally came from Greg Nicotero. It went to another special effects artist who I can't name, and that's how I acquired it. So this is a screen used one from Day of the Dead, and it sits in my office, and it never moves, and it never will move.
That's your pride and joy, right, Charlie?
Yeah. Yep. So
it's a great piece, man. Don't ever tell anybody where you live.
Yeah. There's one other person who has one who tries to say theirs is a screen used one, but they have no backstory or anything for it. They just say it is, and mine's back. So sorry.
Yeah. I know you had didn't you have Tom look at it and Tom verified it?
Yeah, Tom Savini looked at it, and He said it's the ones they made for the film. You can tell because it's double-sided. All the other ones are single-sided. And he said the paper was right. And he said it looked perfectly fine to him. So,
yeah, that's super cool, man. So, but yeah, I think it's better in a lot of respects than Dawn of the Dead. Not knocking Dawn of the Dead, of course, because it's a classic, but I think that movie, the effects were amped way up. Savini really, raised his game in that movie.
oh yeah, it's insane.
I mean, you had a lot of people painted, face painted in Dawn of the Dead, where they did so many prosthetics for people in Day of the Dead, and a lot of work went into that. And it shows. I mean, and it's just a classic to me. I think the story is even better. I enjoyed the story a lot more, but that's just me. I really enjoy Day of the Dead a lot. It's one of my favorites.
And that movie went through hell. I mean, originally they gave Romero a much larger budget. He had a longer script, and they wanted him to make some like commercially appealable piece of crap movie that everybody would want to go see. And he fought them. And he finally got to make his movie, but he lost a crap ton of his budget and had to trim the script. And I just always felt so bad, because there are scripts out there, the longer scripts, and they're really good. So, and I love Romero. So,
well, Todd Seeley brings up that Day of the Dead was released on the day that started Return of the Living Dead's opening scene. But I think Return of the Living Dead came out the year before, right?
no, 85.
Return of the Living Dead did? Okay, so they were released around the same time. And the story that I've always heard is that movie kind of took away a lot of the attention from Day of the Dead, and it just didn't do very well in the box office.
It bombed at the box office, and it was because Return of the Living Dead was more commercially appealable. It was like a comedy, fun movie that people could go see. Like, this was like a serious movie, and people like didn't want that then. They wanted some stupid movie. That's what they wanted. It bombed, and it really did. It was, and even critics like panned it. And I don't understand why.
Yeah.
No, I hope Travis Brown's not serious, but he said I've never seen any of Romano's Dead movies.
Romano.
Is that like Ray Romano?
That was a typo.
I've never seen any of Ray Romano's movies either, but
Ray Romano is a zombie master.
Ray Romano,
a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, Ray Romano did every zombie movie ever. He wrote them all, dating back to the 60s.
We're just giving you hell, Travis.
I'm just giving you hell, Travis. But if you actually haven't seen them, you need to watch them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it, then I'll send you a copy of Night of the Living Dead so you can watch it. I'm like, please.
Oh God. If you haven't seen any of Romero's Dead movies, then you're definitely missing out.
Yeah.
And this is a great quote, Eric. Thank you for that. I just love that scene because they tear him apart. The effects are so amazing in that.
Yeah.
And then when they pull his head off, you hear his vocal cords stretching, and they actually raise the pitch of his voice. It's pretty genius. I mean, that just shows Romero, gave a lot of leeway to Savini and trusted him with a lot of stuff, and he ran with it and made something great.
Yep. What a fantastic film, and we still miss Romero.
Yes, we do.
He got the wrong end of the stick in Hollywood. They really screwed him. So,
yeah, he definitely did, unfortunately. But I think it ended well for him. I think when he moved to Toronto, things finally started working out for him.
Yes, they did.
But you would have never known it because the guy was always so happy. He never let anything bother him.
About everything in the world. He was just like,
yeah.
He'd always be like, Charles, I don't know why people want to line up and get a picture of me, but I guess I'll go down there and take a picture with him. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm nobody special.
Nobody special.
I asked him one time, I said, he said that to me too one time, and I said, well, is there anybody that you would line up for, to go and get an autograph? And he went, nah.
Oh, he was. He was a gentle giant. He was so great.
He was great.
What do we got next?
Next up is a fun movie that I don't think a lot of people know about this one. Maybe they do. This came out July 12th, 1985. It was directed by Ruben Galindo Jr., and it's called Cemetery of Terror. This is a Mexican-made horror film.
Yep.
And it's one of the we were talking about this before we went live. There's several or a handful of great Mexican horror movies, and this is one of them.
Yeah, there's not many. There's like 5 or 6, right? So.
Yeah, there may be a few more, but I don't know. Everyone that I've ever seen are great, and I wish somebody would give all of these movies a proper treatment and restore them properly and do some special features and put out a great release because they deserve it.
Yeah, this one's great. I mean, this is not. It's not the most original film. The plot line's been kind of used, but it's a fun movie, and it's got Hugo Stiglitz in it, who was in Nightmare City. He does a great role in it. This is a fun one, and oh my God, it's hard to find too. If you want to see this, it's not easy to find. I think when I peeked online, the Blu-ray, the DVD was running like $100, something like that.
I was going to say of it. The last time it got released was way back in the beginning of the DVD era, and it was released on like bargain DVDs. And I think the only place I ever saw them was online. I never saw them in a physical store. Yeah,
it came out. So there was this DVD series called Crypt of Terror, and they brought it out. And that one was only on a double feature. It was that and a movie called Grave Robbers. And that was like, why they got it, how they got it, I don't know. But it's like the only time like it's really been around. And it wasn't a very good copy of it either. But I'd love to see some of these taken and remastered, really. Just for the appreciation, because you don't see a lot of horror films coming out of the Mexican culture. And they're all really good. There's some good ones.
Yeah. There's a rap movie too, Maldita something, and then we were also talking about Vacation of Terror, and I think it had 2 or 3 sequels if I'm not mistaken.
Had a few.
So, these are movies that are worth hunting down and checking out though. These Mexican films. There's one that everybody talks about, and I can't even remember the name of it, but it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Santa Sangre from '89 is a good one too. And Kronos from '92 was a Guillermo del Toro movie. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So about 10 years ago, there was a movie called We Are What We Are that they made a remake of, but it originated in Mexico. And that's a really good one too. So
yep, I'd recommend it. Hunt down especially those mid to late 80s Mexican horror movies. They're fun.
Yeah, if you guys know any more, let us know. Maybe there's some out there we don't know. So shoot them over. But if you find it for sale too, please let me know because I'd love to have a copy of it too. Exactly. It doesn't exist.
Travis brings up today would have been Lucio Fulci's birthday. Happy birthday, Master of Gore.
Master of Gore.
Fulci. Lucio Fulci.
All right. Where we
Moving along.
Moving on up.
You're next. You got
I know.
You got a good one.
I had to pause because I like this movie. August 2nd, 85. One I think everybody knows and loves. Fright Night. Fright Night. Young Charlie Brewster discovers that his next door neighbor, Jerry Dandridge, is a vampire. Oh, what a great film. And I love Chris Sarandon. I mean, what do we say about this one? It's Tom Holland,
Yep. And I love Roddy McDowall. Oh my God.
Cornelius is in it. Cornelius.
Man, what a great actor. I think he was probably, when I was a kid, that was the first actor that I really loved because I was a big Planet of the Apes fan as a kid. Mm-hmm. But man, I always loved Roddy McDowall, and he is something special in this one.
He plays the perfect role, and now this is a time when, like you said, 80s movies are kind of starting to get recycled, and he even kind of calls that out in some quotes where he's like, everybody wants a masked killer nowadays, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a fun play on the movie. It's great. Brad Fiedel did the score. He was fresh off Terminator because he did Terminator in '84. So has a great score. Yeah.
And we did have a bunch of the cast and Tom Holland at a show a couple of years ago. Chris Sarandon, Amanda Bierce, Tom Holland, a lot of people. We had, most of the main cast.
Yeah. Lots of fun. I mean, I think everybody's seen that one, but if you haven't, check it out. I think the same squad that did visual effects for Ghostbusters did Fright Night too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, you're right. We had the effects guy. Man, I'm bad with names. I can never remember names.
Richard Edlund?
No,
Richard. He was one of them.
Well, he was probably one of them, but the other guy, somebody will probably type it in there before I find it.
Yeah, somebody let us know. We're so bad with names.
Steven something. I can't remember.
Stephen Burt said to check out the documentary on Fright Night called "You're So Cool, Brewster."
Okay,
do it.
I will check that out.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I'll do it. Yeah, I know that. Well, I mean, Richard Unlum was one who did effects on this, and he's mostly known for doing visual effects on Star Wars, all the original ones. So he did this. I don't know anybody else off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure he also did Ghostbusters, but I don't know who else is on his squad. So,
well, I do know that the effects that year were groundbreaking. That was something that was highly lauded about that movie, was how groundbreaking the effects were in that. So
yeah,
great stuff.
It's fantastic practical effects.
Let's move on to August 2nd, 1985. This is a giallo film by Dario Argento called Phenomena. With Jennifer Connelly, Dario Nicolodi, and Donald Pleasance.
He's the Duke of New York. He's a number one. A number one.
Such good stuff, man. I love this movie.
When I was in Germany, I drove 2.5 hours out of my way across the Switzerland border to go do film locations from this damn movie. And I did them. And I wondered afterwards how the hell he did this movie, because you have scenes in there like where she's getting off the bus, and that's literally like a 1-lane road for like 12 miles. If they missed that shot, it would take them like an hour to reset. So, yeah, I like doing film locations. This is one of the cool ones I did out in Switzerland. I got stopped by the Swiss border on the way there, but apparently I look suspicious. Look at his face.
Well, I think, if I remember correctly, this is probably the first Dario Argento movie that I ever saw. I'm pretty sure it was, because it was called Creepers, wasn't it, in the U.S. for a little while?
It was a heavily edited version called Creepers, because they sold it to a distributor, and the distributor said it was too much, and they edited it themselves and called it Creepers. I don't know how that works with legality rights, but somehow they got away with it. So, yeah.
Well, that's probably the first time I saw it was as Creepers, and I remember it being good.
It's a phenomenal movie. This is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, love it. It is phenomenal because it is phenomenal.
And it didn't have a traditional score like his other movies. I mean, you had like Iron Maiden, Motorhead, and they're just like random scenes. Iron Maiden pop up like, what's going on?
I think that was around the time. There's another movie that we're going to talk about that had a heavy metal rock soundtrack that's coming up on our list. But that was around the time I think a lot of producers wanted to get more metal. They thought it was, going to sell their movie better if they had metal music in it.
It did. Metal started clicking with horror, not even in the sense of like metal exploitation. It was really, they wanted metal in their scores. I mean, and it was kind of moving away from that. So, yeah.
We've got a video clip. What is this? The trailer, Charlie?
Yeah, this is one of the original trailers for it. It's a good trailer. Let's watch the trailer.
Play that.
wind, yes. The phone. Very particular wind. Typical of this part of the country. It comes from the Alps. The blasts of warm air cause snow avalanches. While it blows, there are those who say it causes madness.
You know what I love about those damn trailers? You have no idea what the hell the movies are about. You're just like, all right, we're going to the movies.
It is a beautiful movie though. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. The visuals in it. I mean, it's like all of Geno's movies. They're all damn art pieces. You can just throw them all up at the MoMA and just be like, here's art. Just like here, enjoy yourself.
Good stuff, man. And, man, I miss Donald Pleasance so much. I mean, everything I see him in, it just reinforces how much of a treasure that guy is or was.
He is one of my favorite actors of all time. I mean, going way back. I mean, everything he does, I will watch anything. If I flip something on and it has him on it, I'm like, well, that's what we're watching. It's got Donald Pleasance in it. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. Yeah. Let's do it.
Well,
great. He truly movie. Is the Duke of New York.
highly recommended film.
Yeah. What's next? Oh, I don't know this movie. Nobody knows this movie. August 16th, 85. We had a movie about two bumbling employees at a medical supply warehouse that accidentally released a deadly gas, which the vapors caused the dead to rise from the ground. It's called Return of the Living Dead, directed by Dan O'Bannon. Basically, like the only movie he ever directed. He did one other movie, but I don't know why he never directed. Mostly known for writing, like we said earlier. I mean, this is the second time he's popped up on our list. So,
and this is another movie that had a mainly rock soundtrack, and it didn't. This isn't even the movie that I was talking about, but this was rock and punk in this movie. So yeah, this was the era for it. 1985, man. Like, get you a heavy metal soundtrack, and you're good.
Man, it's still, the movie really makes that. I mean, the sound really makes that movie too. They're back and they're hungry. It's a fun movie. I mean, it had some really amazing effects. I think it was Tony Gardner kind of launched his career as independent makeup effects artist. You got Alan Trotman was a Tarman zombie. You know, he worked with Jim Henson and the Muppets, which is kind of a different take from what he did. I think everybody's seen this. I mean, this is on Prime Video too, because we just watched it recently together. So,
yep, great movie. I mean, it kind of took the zombie genre and went a different direction with it, and which is cool. I mean, it's good. I mean, we all loved it, but Day of the Dead, came out the same year and was kind of overshadowed by this movie.
Because this was much more fun to watch. People wanted something fun. Day of the Dead was too serious, I think, for the time, and I think it was ahead of its time. I mean, really.
Yeah, I agree. Excuse me, I'm yawning over here.
Jesus, get you some coffee, man.
I know. So
you got a good one next, though.
Yeah, we've got from August 23rd, 1985, Warning Sign.
Oh, this is a phenomenal film, too. This is a fantastic, very mature horror film. It's not like gore fest. This is like an adult, horror film. It's just...
Right. Kind of a thriller. You don't know what's going on. It's got Yaphet Kotto, Kathleen Quinlan, Jeffrey DeMunn. I forget that he was in that.
Sam Waterston.
Oh yeah, I think this just got a Blu-ray release recently too.
Yeah,
didn't it?
It did. And it's a great movie. I actually rewatched it last night because I saw it on our list. I was like, man, I want to rewatch that. It's such a great movie. Nick Kundi did cinematography in it, who's also been at the show, but same year he did Back to the Future. What a good year for him. Of course,
I rewatched it last year sometime because we had Kathleen Quinlan was booked to attend our show, and she couldn't make it. But that's when I rewatched it. She's married to the guy from Re-Animator.
Yeah, the one guy.
His name Bruce something. Bruce Abbott.
Yeah, I was like Bruce Abbott, I think.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they're married, and she was booked to be there with him last year, and it didn't work out. She had something come up, so
that happens from time to time, you know.
It does.
This was the one and only film directed by Hal Barwood. I mean, Hal actually went to do Hal. It's Hal Barwood, Hal, something like that. It's Hal. But he actually went up to be a director at Lucasfilm for games. Like, he directed video games after this. Never directed another film again. And he was a fantastic director in this. I'm just like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's surprising that he didn't go on to do anything else, because it was a great film.
Worked at Lucasfilm as a game director, so he brought a bunch of Lucasfilm games, and that's what he does to this day, apparently. So,
well, I don't know how big of a hit this was, but I mean, it definitely could have had something to do with, you know, it did make a lot of money. You know, sometimes Hollywood's fickle that way. Even though you make a good movie, if it didn't make a ton of money, then you may not get a lot more opportunities.
Yep. I think we have a trailer for this one for Warning Sign.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, here it is. Here we go.
I've got a warning flag.
This is not the drill. Seal the building. No one in or out.
God almighty. How many dead?
You didn't see a thing, you understand? Who are you trying to protect? Pray for the people trapped inside. Pray they never get out. Warning sign.
Yeah, Warning Sign. It's a
Very good.
It's a fantastic movie. I mean, it's shot like, you know, almost in a single location. You know, it relies heavy on that feeling of claustrophobia, which Dean was so good, as we saw like in The Thing. You know, it's a great movie. Seek it out. Like Lloyd said, there's a Blu-ray out now, so do it.
Yeah, and I want to say I streamed it somewhere too, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's definitely out there. It's not hard to find.
Yeah, I looked and I didn't see it streaming anywhere.
Oh, you didn't?
So.
Okay. Maybe that was back then when I saw it. Maybe I bought it. I don't know.
we can't keep up with stuff. I don't know.
I cannot keep up with it. No. Well, here's a fun one. Go ahead, Charles.
It might be fun. September 20th, 1985. Hardrock Zombies. Oh, Hardrock Zombies. How we love you. So Hardrock Zombies, I mean, really has everything you want in a movie. We got hillbillies, we got zombies, we got pedophiles, we got a switchblade wielding granny werewolf. And Hitler shows up in the movie with a guy doing the worst Hitler impression you've ever seen.
Well, let's just play the trailer. How about that?
This is a funny trailer too. So,
all right, here we go.
Are you sick of borrowing video movies that are exactly like other tapes you've seen before? You know, that are so predictable you've guessed the ending in the first couple of minutes? Well, cop this. This film is so weird, off the planet, incredibly ridiculous, unbelievably far-fetched, depraved and lacking in taste that I can relate to it. I mean, check this geek eating himself for dinner, or this bloke with his three-handed handshake. Now that's what I call good viewing. So next time you're after something worth watching, pop down to your local video store and grab a copy of Hardrock Zombies. After all, it's just a bit of all-round good, clean fun.
Is this was that the Australian trailer? Look at this bloke eating himself. Oh my!
Looking himself. That was apparently a trailer that they made to show on television for the video stores in Australia. It's hilarious. Are you tired of the same old movie where you can get down? Well, check this out to the Barbie.
Yep.
Jesus.
Watch this movie.
Watch this movie. It got Hitler in it. I'm just like, what the hell? This is a ridiculous movie, but my God, if you haven't seen this, just watch it. And it's like the guy who directed this, Krishna Sean. He was an Indian guy. He ended up being super successful. He was like CEO of his own company, and then he was like CEO of some film studios like Double Helix and Carnegie Film Group. So somehow this guy like made this movie and then became super successful. What if he had this in his resume? Was like, I know you don't think I can run this company, but just check this shit out that I made.
Check
like,
out
all right,
Hardrock Zombies.
I know like,
you'll hire me.
Well, anybody who has the balls to put both Hitler and a grandma werewolf in a movie, he's hired.
We want you on our team. Oh my Lord!
That's all I got about Hardrock Zombies. Just, I don't know. Is there a? Can you buy this damn movie? I don't even know.
I remember it being out on DVD. Seems like, but you got.
Oh my God! The DVD's $125. Why?
That doesn't necessarily mean that anybody actually is going to pay that amount. It just means
is this you selling it, Lloyd? Is this you on?
No, it's not. It's not.
Is this bootleg Crier strikes again?
Bootleg Crier. We know.
Bootleg Crier. You want Hardrock Zombies? I got 4 copies, maybe 5.
$125.
$125.
Oh
God! Let's move on.
You don't want to talk about Hardrock Zombies anymore?
I summed it up for everybody. That was it. You got werewolf grandmas and Hitler. That's your movie.
All right. So we'll move on then. September 27th, 1985, with Buddy Cooper's The Mutilator.
Oh, The Mutilator.
It used to be a pretty hard to find slasher flick. And thank you to Arrow Video. They cleaned it up, made it beautiful, and presented a perfect Blu-ray box set or whatever collector's edition that you can pick up to this day. And I was never a big fan of The Mutilator. It
Really?
just never really hit the right, struck the right chords for me. But I know it's a favorite for a lot of people.
It's one of my favorites as a teenager when I was younger. I had a copy of this and I liked it. I can honestly say that I have the Arrow Video copy, but I have not watched it. I have not watched it. And
oh, you haven't?
I'm gonna have to put it back in and watch it. I know Buddy Cooper never did anything again, so that could tell you something.
Todd Seeley, he says The Mutilator is great. So I mean, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. It's a very popular film, and a lot of people love the movie. But it just I don't know. It didn't strike all those slasher notes that I dig. And I think the ending is doesn't he kill somebody with a weed eater or something?
It's kind of how it is. People don't like everything. I know it's streaming on Prime, so if you guys want to check it out, it's on Prime. I don't know how good the Prime copy is, though. I don't think it's the really good one that Arrow brought out, but I don't know. Give it a shot. I'm gonna rewatch it probably the next couple of days because I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely worth a watch, especially if you're a slasher guy like I am. So
yeah. What was next?
Well, let's see what we got here on the list. The Mutilator. Oh, next up. Go ahead, Charlie.
October 4th, 1985. Lamberto Bava's Demons.
Demons.
A group of random people are invited to a mysterious theater screening, trapped in the theater with zombies. This movie is. I love this movie, and I love this movie for how ridiculous it is. It's so great. There's so many things that happened in this movie where you're like, where did that come from? Like, what's going on?
I saw somebody post on Facebook within, I don't know, it's been the last day or two about Demons, and they said Demons is the greatest movie of all time because you have a great movie theater, you have demons, you have nail mutilation, nail mutilation, you have pimps, and you have dirt bikes.
You have everything you want too. Dirt bikes and pimps.
I know. So they pretty much summed that movie up. It's a crazy off the wall film.
Yeah, it was co-written by Bava and Argento. Argento produced it through his studio. It's fun. I mean, it's gory. It's got some weird stuff to it. There's a lot of scenes where you're just gonna be like, okay, I don't know where that came from, or what the hell are they doing? All right. Yeah. Just live with it because it's great.
And Eduardo brought up what I was talking about earlier. This is the other film that I was saying that, I think you had Iron Maiden, Motley Crue. I can't even remember the rest of the bands that were on. I think Billy Idol was on the soundtrack. So it had a great soundtrack. It really did. But it was that time, man.
Yeah.
Kind of weird that, we're noticing 1985 was the year they really cranked it out for the heavy metal type soundtrack stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Simonetti wrote some original music for it, some compositions, but yeah, I mean, you had, like you said, Motley Crue, and I think a song called "Night Danger" by Pretty Maids, which is a fun song, and Rick Springfield was even on it. It's just like, it's just like go do it.
Yeah, somebody else brought it up. Except Saxon and Rick Springfield.
Yeah. Hey, leave Rick Springfield alone. He was walking on the edge in that movie. I think that was a song in that movie. Walking on the edge.
Well, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a great one. And also another one Arrow brought out. So
yeah, we had I'm looking over at my Demoni poster. We had Sergio Stivoletti and Lamberto Bava at the show a few years back. So that was the year we had Ruggero Deodato and another Italian that I'm
that was like a decade ago now.
I know. It's been a long time. It's been a long
Lord. Oh, Demons. Yeah, Demons is fun.
It is. And Greta is in that too. Let's see. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you guys are ever in Berlin, I've never been there, but the theater's actually still there. The Metropole Theater, it's still there. So
you've never been?
I've never been. It's on my list to go to.
This is the poster that I have on my wall that I was looking at.
Yeah, Monia.
And I got it signed too, so it's pretty cool. It's huge. It's an Italian 4-sheet, I guess. Is that what they called them? A 4-sheet or
4-sheet or subway posters? Yeah.
Yeah. Thing is massive. So
those are the best ones. I love those giant posters. There's just only so many you can put up. You're like, I put 3 posters up there. My house is full.
Yeah, you'll cover your whole entire house.
And it'll cost you like $500 to get the damn thing framed. So
Claudio Fragasso was later. That was later. Like 2 years ago. So let's go to the next one. This is another favorite of a lot of people. This is October 11th, 1985. Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet.
One of the greatest werewolf movies ever made that had one of the most terrible werewolf creatures, creature effects, unfortunately. But I don't know. I love this movie. I just I don't know what it is about it, but there's something wholesome about it. And that preacher is a scary MF in that movie, dude.
Deborah McGill, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I love him. I think he plays a fantastic villain in that movie.
Yeah, that was also screenplay was done by Stephen King based on his book, but he did the screenplay too, so it's probably why it works so well.
Cycle of the Werewolf.
Yeah.
Bernie Wrightson illustrated that, and Bernie did some great illustrations. Although I always heard that he didn't really like his werewolf in that movie either, or in that book, what he illustrated. So, I guess sometimes you try and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, got a great cast though. I mean, you got Terry O'Quinn in it, Haim. You got Gary Busey. Even though I still have nightmares about spending time with Gary Busey, but that's for another day.
That's my favorite corny joke of all time in that movie about the bartender and the jackass.
Oh yeah. Now you have to tell the joke, Lloyd.
Well, I don't know, man. Well, okay, I'll tell it. So
maybe not.
Okay, I'll pass. But anyway, watch the movie if you want to hear the joke.
Yeah, and that was the only movie that the director ever did. Daniel Mateus. He some reason went on to do like 9,000 episodes of television. Like literally, he did like 30 episodes of 90210 for some reason. I looked and he like I guess he was a tortured HBO because all he did was HBO stuff like Sopranos, Entourage, Big Love, Hung. So I'm just like, well, I guess he found money, but he didn't do any movies ever again.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said for series work. It's regular scheduled work and you're always working. So, that's kind of a dream gig for actors and directors.
Yeah. That's true.
The Reverend Lowe in that movie somebody was asking, that was Everett McGill. And yes, he was also in People Under the Stairs.
He's also fantastic in People Under the Stairs.
Phil says he met Busey at Frightmare. Yeah, Busey was kind of a nut job.
I don't want to get into that. We can get another story, but let's just say Charles spent a lot of one-on-one time with Gary Busey, alone time, and I spent way too much time with him.
Have you seen that he has a series on Amazon called Pet Court?
I avoid him. If I hear his voice, I have flashbacks, and
this is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. It's obviously everything is set up, but I think it's the only person that isn't in on the joke is Gary Busey, and I think he really thinks he's a real judge. And they bring these ridiculous cases about pets in front of him, and he sits there and he really concentrates and he tries to judge these really bizarre, stupid pet cases. And it's insane. I watched one episode the other night because I heard people talking about it, and it's crazy. So if you want to see more Gary Busey craziness, go watch that.
Let me tell you though, if you get him alone, where it's just you and him, because I spent a lot of time with him, he is not as crazy as he is in public. He will sit there and have conversations with you like a normal person. But as soon as you get him in front of people, he flips a switch and he's insane.
Insane. Is it so? Do you think it's an act or is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it's an act completely. I think it's not as severe as he throws it out to be on stuff, because I had enough conversations with him while he made me find American Idol on television for him to know that he knows what's going on. So he knows how to talk. And then we talked about his kids like a normal person. So.
And he's a Texan. He's originally from Goose Creek, Texas, which I don't think exists anymore. I think it was annexed into Houston.
Goose Creek, probably like shit. Gary Busey's from here. We're out.
Yeah, I'm from Goose Creek, Texas. Okay,
the Magic Land.
They burned it down when he left.
We can get into some. I have a lot of Gary Busey stories, and we could get into those someday. Some we can't.
One day we're gonna have to sit down and do a show about some of the less offensive behind the scenes stories.
Yeah, we can do the less offensive ones. There's stuff I can't say, but
yeah. All right. So you're next up.
This movie. If anybody's seen this, I'll be surprised. I think some may have, but October 13th, 85, we had Thou Shalt Not Kill, Except. but not 100% a horror movie, but it has to be added on here just for the fact that Sam Raimi plays a crazy Charles Manson goofball son of a bitch in this movie. Yeah. You watch this movie and you're like, this is a guy they gave $1 billion franchise to, like 15 years later. I have a trailer for it that we can watch, but
okay,
yeah,
I got it ready to
go. Play it. Just do it.
Okay.
In the beginning, God created light. Then God created man, and he gave him 10 commandments. Amongst them, thou shalt not kill.
Waste.
But evil forces arose, ignoring God's commandments, and wreaked havoc on the world.
You like this? It's fun.
Let's go clean them up.
Jesus Christ. No, you're not. You're dead.
Yes, that's Sam Raimi, everybody.
So I'll admit I haven't seen this since I was a very young kid, and I don't remember a whole lot about it. I remember renting it because it looked like a horror movie. And it wasn't, and I was kind of disappointed. So yeah, I'm wanting to go back and rewatch it. So I'll have to do that soon.
It's not a horror movie at 100%. I mean, it's kind of falls on the scale, but I had to include it just for the fact that it was like written by Bruce Campbell, and it has a lot of the squad from Evil Dead. And Sam Raimi's in here. I'm Jesus Christ. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? It's not a good movie. It's just worth. I wouldn't say to watch it. It's fun if you've never seen it. It's like a slightly better trauma film almost.
Yeah, I remember it not being that great, and I was disappointed that it wasn't a horror movie. That's basically what I remember about that movie.
Yeah. I had to include it, Lloyd. I'm sorry. It had to be on here.
No, that's quite all right. I think it's a good inclusion. It's also known as Stryker's War.
Oh, Stryker's War, yeah.
But I've never seen it released under that title.
Was it released at all?
Yeah.
Released on any title?
Well, it was released on VHS because I rented it.
Yeah, you probably got the one copy. They were like, no. It's actually on Blu-ray. You could get it on Blu-ray. I looked it up earlier, and there's a Blu-ray out there of it. It's like $35 for some reason, of course, but
yeah, I'm not paying that much.
There's probably 6 copies. Somebody's gonna buy these last 6 copies of this damn movie.
All I remember is it had a skull on the cover, and the skull had like a hippie bandana wrapped around its head
with like a halo around it.
Is that what it had? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
he's Jesus Christ.
I just remember seeing that and go, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one." And no.
When I picked up Sam Raimi from the airport, I really wanted to go, "Are you Jesus Christ?" I had to restrain myself. I was like, "I'm not going to do it."
Oh my God! Yeah, you would have. Yeah, he probably would have said, "Now take me back to the airport, please."
Oh, okay. We could move far past this one.
All right, October 18th, 1985. A huge classic in the horror genre, Re-Animator, directed by Stuart Gordon.
Oh, Re-Animator.
Re-Animator.
It's Re-Animator.
It's Re-Animator, man. It's fantastic. Love this movie. It's had so much heart. It's probably what turned me on to H.P. Lovecraft back in the day, you know. Fantastic. What else can you say about Re-Animator, Charles?
It's Re-Animator, and it's fantastic. Body horror is best. So
what you got here? What is this, Charles?
So I had to pull this in here. So this is the Ghana poster for Re-Animator. So if you guys don't know about Ghana posters, so these are... So what happened in the late 80s is in Ghana, essentially, in a region, they didn't have access to movies. So there was these sort of mobile screenings they would take. It would basically be a VCR and a TV. They would drag to villages, and they would take a generator, and they would show movies to people, right? Of course, they didn't have posters at all. They had no posters. So everybody had to hand art all their posters. So they were all hand painted. Sometimes they made no sense because they didn't know what the movie was about. Sometimes they're really cool. But let me tell you, these posters, original ones, are worth a fortune. They're like art now. I mean, they're thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars if you ever see one come up for sale. I saw one for Nightmare on Elm Street sell for $17,000 last year. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So if you ever see one somewhere and it looks real, buy it. They want because they're worth a lot of damn money.
Wow. I never knew the story behind that.
Yeah. That was pretty much what it was. These people took it upon themselves to sort of bring film out to West Africa. Ghana's a country in West Africa, and they had no movies, no power a lot of places. So they would drag a VCR and a TV with movies, and they would have to draw a poster to tell people what it was about. That was the only way they could do it. So it's a piece of cultural history, and they're cool posters. Some of them are weird if you see them, because
they are.
One of the weirdest one is Mrs. Doubtfire, because it has Mrs. Doubtfire like stabbing somebody in the head with a broom, and there's like blood coming out. It's an example of where they probably didn't get to check the movie out beforehand, so they were like, all right.
Makes absolutely no sense. Well, Re-Animator is it's an all-time horror great classic. Everybody knows Re-Animator. I hope everybody knows this movie. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see this movie. It's fantastic. It's got Jeffrey Combs in the role of a lifetime. Pretty much the role that put him on the horror map.
Yeah, he's fantastic as Herbert West. I mean, really.
It's got the great Barbara Crampton.
One of the movies that got me into horror, from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Always loved this one.
Really good stuff. Last one, Charles, you're up, and this is a good one too.
Last one, November 1st, 1985, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Boom.
What can we say about that? Everybody knows about Freddy's Revenge too. What do you want me to say?
I know. But you know what? I love this movie a whole lot. It's a lot different than the first one.
It's a lot different.
A lot different. And there's a lot of talk about the homosexual subtext in the film that I never really noticed as a kid. Seeing this movie, I never noticed that at all. It went right over my head. But going back and watching it now, it's definitely there, man. It's there, and there's no denying it. Mark Patton did a recent documentary about his life in film and this movie, and somebody mentioned it. People need to see or need to check out Mark Patton's doc. It's on Shudder right now, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's called My Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. Slasher Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, something like that.
Yeah, Slasher King or something. I can't remember, but I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard about it, and I've got to check that out because, the scenes of him, he's making out with his girlfriend and he jumps up and runs away and goes to see his male friend, I mean, it's just things like that they're obvious homosexual subtext or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Jack Shoulder directed it. I don't think he really did anything after that. He did a lot of TV movies, right? I think he did a movie called Arachnid something.
He actually did a few movies. He did I know the one I just watched one the other night. It's called 1201. That was really good. But he also did The Hidden. And I love The Hidden. Have you ever seen The Hidden?
Oh, The Hidden. He did Alone in the Dark too, didn't he? Like around that time.
Alone in the Dark was in 1982. And that's a great movie too.
Yeah. Okay.
So 1201.
I never seen 1201 though.
It's really good. It's got Jeremy Piven, Martin Landau, Glenn Morshower. It's got several names that you'd recognize: Jonathan Silverman, Helen Slater. It's a good movie, and the way I discovered it was Jack Shoulder. He was at the show a couple of years ago, and I went over to him and I said, "Hey, I really enjoyed The Hidden. I love The Hidden a lot." And he said, "Oh, I have this other movie. This is my favorite movie that I've ever done." And he gave me a copy of 1201. And it's basically Groundhog Day for science fiction. And it came out in 1993.
I'll have to look it up, watch it.
It came out the same year as Groundhog Day. And it's basically the same premise, but with a science fiction bend to it.
Nice.
So
nice.
Jack Shoulder, he's a cool director. I like a lot of the stuff that he's done. So Nightmare on Elm Street, I think I like the original Nightmare, and then part 2 is next on the list, and then part 3 for me. And but that's how I just really like part 2 a lot. It's a good movie.
Part 2 was the only one where the lead was a male, right? Because the lead was always females.
Yeah. He was the final guy, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Cool. I could probably watch it again. It's been a few years since I've seen this. I used to watch this one when I was younger too, and I didn't pick up on that probably because we're younger, but
yeah.
I used to have this and the first Nightmare on a VHS copy together that I recorded off TV. So I'd watch them over and over. So
yeah. My favorite line of Freddy's is when he comes out and he's at the pool party and he says, "You are all my children now." I love that scene.
I need to watch that again. I need to give it another watch.
Yep. Check it out. Check it out. So we have some honorable mentions. That was the last on the big list. So go ahead and start. This is a good one, Charles.
I really want to put this on the list too, but we don't have time. Transylvania 6-5000. I love this freaking movie.
I love it. I really want to
put it. That's a great movie.
It's so funny, man. It's a hilarious.
So goofy. Jeff Goldblum's great in it.
Yep. Everybody is great in that movie. That was something that I discovered on videotape and really enjoyed the heck out of it. Next up is one that I actually saw this in the movie theater.
Oh, did you?
It's called Once Bitten. And it's got Jim Carrey in the lead.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, like one of the earliest roles he was in.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it was Jim Carrey until years later when Jim Carrey got popular. And then somehow I went back and I watched this movie and I was like, holy crap, that's Jim Carrey. That's
Jim Carrey. Yeah.
That's a funny movie as well.
Yeah, and it's if you haven't seen that, that's a good one too. I mean, it's one I would have liked to have dove in a little bit more, but didn't have time.
Yep.
Chiller's another one on the list here. Chiller is Wes Craven directed film from, of course, 85. It's some fun, but I believe it was mainly supposed to be a TV movie. I think again, it's a PG-13 film. It's got a decent cast in it and nothing to hoop and holler about, but it's decent. And it's by Wes Craven.
Written by J.D. Fagelson, who also wrote Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Yep, J.D. Fagelson.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have The Bride, which this has been a long time since I've seen this movie.
So this is another one I would have liked to dove into a little bit more too, but it's kind of a fine line between hitting horror. It's more of a fantasy romance movie, but essentially in this movie you have Sting playing Dr. Frankenstein and you have Jennifer Bills playing a creature he makes, and it's a really beautiful made movie. It's really well made. Wasn't a biggest fan of Sting as an actor, but it's fun if you want something interesting from the 80s that's a little different.
Yeah, it's one I need to go back and visit. Go ahead. You're next.
What was the next? Oh yeah, we had Underworld. I wonder if so. This is not Underworld, a movie with vampires. Don't throw that out there. But Underworld is a movie that was written by Clive Barker. It was directed by George Pablo, and it's about a hooker leaving her brothel and stuff happens, but it's also called Transmutations, and the poster is really awesome for it. I think the poster is probably the best part of the movie, but if you're a fan of Barker and you want to see all the stuff Barker's kind of his hands in, it's worth a watch.
Yes. Next on the list is a Texas-made movie called Future Kill. Of course, it came out in 1985. This was directed by Ron Moore, and I actually know Ron. Ron's a great guy. He wrote it and directed it. It was also co-written by Ed Neal of Texas Chainsaw Massacre fame, and it had Marilyn Burns in a role in this movie as well. It's very well known for its poster that was designed by H.R. Geiger.
Yeah. The poster's obviously H.R. Geiger. When you see the poster, it's 100% him.
Yes.
So I think that's it this week.
That's right.
We made it.
We made it. We killed it. We knocked it out. 1985. Not a bad year. A lot of good stuff there. Some bad stuff. Seemed like people were starting to try to, repeat and do, just kind of copy what was popular. But good stuff.
We had some repeats that year. Yeah, but overall some good stuff, All right, so I'm just going to give away 2 copies of Cat's Eye. Who wants Cat's Eye? Let's see. How can we do this, Lloyd?
Do you want to do some trivia, or do you want it to be like the first person that posts something, or a mix of both?
Let's do some trivia. Let's throw some trivia out there.
We should have saved something. We kind of told a lot about the movies that we just did.
Actually, I've got some saved.
Okay, go for it. What do you got?
Actually, I'll put an easy one first. Who played Jason in Friday the 13th: A New Beginning?
All right.
How about that?
I'm watching. Let's see who pops that up first. Oh my Lord. That's kind of a tricky question. I will take this though.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take Tom
Morga. Tom Morga played, wasn't he the fake Jason? Because somebody else played like a reflection of Jason that Tommy sees in the mirror too.
Yeah, he's kind of the one known for it, so we can give it to Tom.
So JRE, message us. You're on YouTube, so
if you can, jump over to Facebook and message us at the Texas Frightmare Weekend.
Yeah,
with your address
message,
and I'll send you a copy of Cat's Eye. No.
Back again.
Why did this happen?
Well, he has really nice teeth, except for the black in between them, though. They're really white. It's just the black that's in between.
The power of Christ compels you.
Oh.
Get out.
You're not having very much luck, Charlie. You need to work a little harder.
I don't want to. Fine, I'm going to play music for him.
Oh, there you go.
The power of Christ compels you.
Worked.
So
it worked.
You're giving away 2 copies of Cat's Eye?
Yeah, you got the next one. Throw some trivia out. What do you want?
Oh, my Lord. I'll make this easy. Where was the majority of Future Kill filmed at? What city? I want to know what city it was filmed in. Does El Diablo have a Facebook profile?
I think we need one.
We probably need one for El Diablo. Would you guys follow El Diablo on Facebook? We don't have an answer yet. That's kind of
Come on, guys. Future Kill. Where was it filmed? And until then, we can. I don't know.
That ended kind of quick. We need El Diablo t-shirts. That's a pretty good idea.
Maybe we can make El Diablo shirts.
I think we could too. Nobody has the answer to the Future Kill question.
Come on, guys. You can do it. I have faith in you.
Do you have any Jeopardy music?
No. No Jeopardy music. I can play this.
Boom. T-West. Got it.
T-West. T-West in the house. All right,
T-West. You win a copy of Cat's Eye from Charles Doze.
Yeah. I'm going to lick every copy before I send it.
That was awesome.
Same thing. Jump over to Facebook if you can, to the Frightmare, and shoot us a private message with your address, and I'll get it to you. And I'll include topless photo of Lloyd Polaroid.
Oh boy,
I got him.
You've got those, Charlie?
Yeah, I'd put your face on somebody else's body, but you're topless. That's it. What do we got? That's it. Saturday.
Let's talk about what's coming up. Let's see.
Saturday's a long day, guys. We got a lot for you Saturday. All right.
We have got a lot planned. So let's see. Let me start with this. I'm waiting. There it is.
And while we're waiting, if you guys can, when we're done, please remember to like, comment, share on our YouTube, because that really helps get us out there.
Helps a lot.
Yeah.
So at noon on Saturday, we've got Arrow Video coming up.
They're coming.
I think they said they have some surprises, don't they?
They got some stuff in their store. I don't think we can say what they've got in store, but they've got some stuff, some trailers and stuff. So it's going to be cool.
Looking forward to talking to those guys. Who's joining us from Arrow?
So right now I know it's going to be Mike and Louise, and Louise is always a popular choice between people, as we can tell last time. Maybe we'll get Ewan on here too, because everybody likes to drool over Ewan. So we'll see.
Exactly. So we got that happening at noon on Saturday.
Yeah.
1 o'clock on Saturday. We've got Lisa Wilcox from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 is going to be joining us for a live interview, 2 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to talking to her. Got a lot of stuff, our normal, just casual conversations we have. We're not really strict interview people. We just talk about whatever comes to mind. As we know with Brandon Crane, it was burritos. So,
and hot mayonnaise.
Oh.
And then that night, I just uploaded it, but I'm trying to find it now.
We got a movie that night.
We are streaming a movie. And this was chosen. Who chose this? I can't remember who chose it.
Who chose this last time?
I don't know. We got to go back and watch the show again and find out.
I had it written down too. I just know people by their handle names and stuff. So
yeah, we'll go back and look at it.
If you chose the movie and you're on here, let us know, because we're showing your movie and we expect you to dial in with us. So we're showing the Crazies.
2010's The Crazies.
Daku.
Oh, bless you.
Daku.
Bless you, Charlie.
Daku. Excuse me. I've got a case of the boogans.
That's good. Yeah, it was Doc Who.
Who said me? What's the next one say? Phil Wall said me.
Me, Doc Who. Phil, message us too, because we want you to come on live on the show with us as well.
Yeah, you got to deal with me, Daku.
Yeah, you got to message us. You got to send me your email address so I can send you all the directions and stuff. And then if you want to come on before we start the screening, then we can bring you on and make sure everything's working right.
Yeah, if you don't feel like hanging around for the whole movie, you don't have to. Just pop on and say hi to us. But we'd like you to hang out with us and watch the movie if you want to.
If you can, yeah.
If you can. If not, we'll just have to bring Meredith back, and me and Meredith have to do more dancing. So,
which was a lot of fun. I had a good time on that show.
Yep,
all right, guys.
That's it.
Well, thank y'all so much. We appreciate every one of you joining us. Want to say thank you, Stephen Burt. Just
oh wow, Stephen, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Stephen.
Appreciate it, Stephen. Appreciate the contributions, guys. We love hanging out with you and talking movies. Somehow this one ran to an hour and 40 minutes, guys. Me and Lloyd don't even try to make these short. We're here to have fun with movies, and whatever the hell's on the list, whatever we have to talk about is how long the damn thing ends up being. So
exactly.
That's kind of how it is.
I'll stay as long as it takes, but I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming on and joining us. I'll echo what Charles said. It's always a lot of fun. Good to see you guys. Thank you, Michelle, for saying it was an awesome time.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle.
That's what really keeps us going, is when you guys tell us that you like what we're doing, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. You guys are all family to us, and we love spending time with you guys, so we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you guys got anything good coming up or watching, let us know. We like to hear about your guys' movies too.
Definitely.
And let us know what you think about, the movies today. Again, YouTube, if you want to just comment what your favorite movie is or something, helps us. We appreciate it.
Lots of great comments. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it so much. Anna, thank you very much for joining us. Oh, so was this your first time, I guess? She was happy, finally able to make a live stream. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you very much. T. West, thank you. We always appreciate you coming and joining us. So go
what
ahead.
What I kind of want to do with one of these shows, I think it'd be fun with one of these years, is maybe poll some of our people, see what their favorite movies are, and make sure we include some of those too. Make sure we have all those
exactly
on here.
Meredith Allen says, "Keep up the great work." Thank you. We had a good time. I guess that's about it then, Charles. You got anything else you want to talk about?
That's it till Saturday. Saturday, guys, we're in for the long haul. Me and Lloyd are going to be here all day with you guys. So pop in when you want. Got some fun stuff. We'll be around.
All right. Thank you for joining Frightmare HQ. My name is Lloyd Cryer.
And I am Carlos Doyes.
Thank y'all for spending your time with us. We'll see y'all Saturday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.